Greetings from Florida. Today we're working on a 2007 to 2010 Hyundai Elantra. This is the rear door. I've got the front doors on there as well, but this is the rear door. You got a clip behind that silver handle and pull that open. There's a screw there inside the door. By the way, this is double speeded. And we're going to pull that off. There's only one wiring harness to unplug. Oh, there was a plate, there was a plastic triangular buttonhole cover at the top I just took off. Just pops off. Move that over. Now, this is going to be a little disjointed because I want to show you, but I have to set the thing down a couple times. You're welcome to, right there I set it down. You're welcome to fast forward through this if you need to, but hang on, I'm going to show you what to take out. And I'm back. Okay, so you've got an 8mm bolt that you're going to take off. Then once you do that, you can pull off that cover right there and then pull the handle to the side and out and take the plastic bushings with you just to make sure you still have them. And then there's one 8mm bolt on the outside, so free that up. And there's also three T30 Torx bolts that hold the latch on. You're going to go ahead and take that off too. So you get some 10mm bolts all the way around the regulator. That's all coming out. Bing, bang, boom. If you have any questions, feel free to respond on YouTube. You don't need to call me, but just respond on YouTube and I'll text you back. I'm trying to find out which Torx socket it was. I really don't remember which one it was, but you'll figure it out. You're a bright guy, gal. And then there's, what am I taking out there? Oh, there was I put a drill bit in there when I was here last time to lock the window up in the meantime. Bring the glass down. You've got what I think is a 10mm. But I ended up doing it with a Phillips. That screw comes all the way out. Put the glass up, put a suction cup on it for the time being. 3 Phillips screws there, hold that on, and then once you take that off, you're going to need to take off the cables that go to the lock rod and the... Oh, by the way, take a look and make sure you get the right part before you take everything apart. And if you bought it new from the dealer and the box was opened, open it again and make sure you get the right part and it's not a damaged part that was put back in the box. I've seen that happen more than a few times. And here I am trying to get the damn thing off, and I forgot that I didn't take off the 3 T30 Torx bolts that hold the latch on. So we need to take those off. And now I'm still in trouble with it because the channel's in the way. So 10mm nut holds that channel in place. I think I just realized it. There I am right there, take off that nut. And then you should be able to slide the whole thing down. Not as easy as the front doors, but it's doable. You're going to bend that channel out of the way just to get out of the way. Got it. Okay. And then I'm going to slide the rubber retainers through there. Take off the clips. I got a little confused about the wiring harness, but you'll figure it out. It does go behind the cable and behind the brace on the regulator when you thread it back through the regulator panel. And then there's a plastic plate that goes onto the entire latch assembly, holds it in place. So I did have to take that out, which I think was also, I think I used an 8mm screw. Just trying to figure out where that went. I couldn't, so then I went ahead and put it back onto the latch assembly, and that gave me a better idea of where it goes. Still confused. But once I did this, I was able to put the 2 rods through the holes, and that helped me line it up. And by the way, if you're in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Sarasota, Bradenton, Pasco County, I'd be glad to come out and do this for you. This is what we do. You want to look up Power Up Auto on a Google search, and you'll find us. So like I said, you're threading the wiring harness, and I got a little confused here too, but you're threading the wiring harness behind the cable and the metal cross brace. Nope, didn't go that way. Let's try that again. And plug it back into the latch assembly. It's just a single plug. It plugs in and unplugs very easily. Now getting this thing back in was kind of a pain in the neck too, but you're welcome to pull that channel out of the way. Shouldn't be an issue. Also, quick note, you'll notice that the speaker has been drilled out, removed, and put back with self-tapping screws. Now, you don't have to do that to change the regulator, but first time I was down here, I couldn't get the glass up, and you don't want to take a pair of pliers and try to pull the glass up. You don't want to take a pair of pliers and try to pull the glass up. So I drilled out the speaker, got out of the way, and once you do that, you put your hand behind there and push the glass up easily. So now the goal here is to get those 3 T20 bolts into the latch. And this took me a minute or two. And if you don't want to actually change it, it's a back window. If you don't use it, you could just lock it up and disconnect it. And to do that, just put the, you can take the motor off, obviously, and that makes it much easier to push the glass up. And then just drill a drill bit below where the cross brace is. Put the window up, and then drill a drill bit where the cross brace is, and that'll hold it in place. And leave it unplugged. And you don't really have to replace the regulator on a back door if you don't want to. These are expensive from the dealer. I had gotten an aftermarket one, which lasted this guy about 3 years, which wasn't bad, but then I charged him when I came back and did it again. We warranty him for a year, but No promises that they'll last forever. All right, so it looks like I got that in. And now I've got to reach in and get that channel lined up again to put the nut back on. And there it is right there, 10 millimeter nut. That's good. Now let's put in the 10 millimeter bolts. Oh, I went back to the car to get a cable tie. I was concerned that the wiring harness might interfere with the metal cable in the back, so I just tied it down right there. And I want to get the bracket up just a little bit, so I took a pair of pliers and just turned it a little bit. Shouldn't do any damage. And then before you bring the glass down and put it in, you want to put the motor back on. And the reason for that is, otherwise when you pull the glass down, it's just going to push the bracket farther down into the door. But if you have the motor on, it'll stop that from happening. One of these screws is not like the other, and it's the one that goes on the right there, on the right. Just keep track of it when you take them off, and you'll see. Putting the clip back on, bringing the glass down, lining it up, make sure it's tight, putting the screw back in. There you go. Grab that rubber cover. Putting the handle back on. And now I've got to put the outside handle back on. Shouldn't be a big deal if you lined everything up properly. Put the grommets back on, those rubber pieces. Sorry I didn't take the camera out to show you again, but you should be able to figure it out. By the way, my usual plug for Bosch tools. They are the best, barring none. They absolutely are the best. There's nothing that's even close to them. I've used everything over the years. They're indestructible. Customer service is fantastic. I've been very happy with Bosch. Oh, on the two up and down channels that the glass travels in, lightly, every 2 or 3 months, lightly, WD-40. They get dry from the heat. It keeps them soft and supple. So just give them a quick spritz up and down when you think about it. And I guess that's about it. I went to test it out, but it's working fine. You can't really see that, but you got to trust me, it's working fine. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.